What's going on, people? This is Shy Harris, and this is another episode of Interviews with the Rebel. So, if this is your first time watching one of these videos, I actually started this series probably about 2 years ago, and I started it all because I wanted to interview and sit down with different creators and entrepreneurs who are doing things completely outside the box and talk to them about how they got started, some of their successes, some of their failures, some of their highs and lows, some of their wins and losses. I feel like I just said that. But talk about exactly how they became who they are today. And so after 2 seasons of it, I decided to bring it back. So for this episode, I'm actually sitting down with my guy, a fellow creator, fellow entrepreneur, fellow cinematographer, Mr. Nguyen. And in this episode, we're talking about how he actually got started with working with shoe boutique Xchange in Norfolk, Virginia, and pretty much some of the content that he's been creating for them, what he's learned from that, as well as other outside projects that he's been working on. And it's a great episode. So go ahead and check out this episode right now. What's going on, people? This is Shy Harris, and this is the first episode of season 3 of Interviews with the Rebel. In season 3, we're not going to stop it at 12 or 16 episodes. We're going to keep this going every week until I can't go no more. So, if this is your first time watching Interviews with a Rebel, this series is all about telling the story of creators and entrepreneurs who are doing things outside of the box, unpredictable, and really just dope. They kind of let you guys know the ins and outs of their journey, but also the things that made them a success and made them who they are today. So today, we actually have somebody who I've known for the past couple of months, and I've actually, every time I'm around this guy, it's always a good time. Like, I've always enjoyed myself. I've always learned something new. And this guy is a workhorse. So we have my man, Nguyen.
How you doing, sir?
Good. How you doing today?
I appreciate you saying my name correctly. Not many people do, but
that's why I had to ask you before we got started. So let's kind of hop into this, right?
Okay.
All right. So all creatives start out somewhere.
Yes.
So, matter of fact, who are you and what do you do?
Oh, so my name is Long. I am the head marketing director at Xchange Norfolk. So it's a buy-sell trade that mainly focuses on sneakers, fashion, electronics, pretty much everything, right? So I run their YouTube channel. I'm also one of the co-owners of J Production, which is a advertising company that focuses on films, photos, anything that has to do with anything advertising. More product-based, which is funny because people think product is like just this. I think of creatives where the products will sell.
Right.
And that's it.
Okay, cool. So the question I was about to ask you, I'll ask you now. So everybody has the, their story of how they got started.
Right.
Most time you hear about origin stories when it comes down to comics. So what is your creative origin story?
You want to know the sad truth?
Yeah.
Money.
Talk about it.
So I'm not originally from here. So I'm coming from Vietnam. My mom
from Puerto Rico.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right here. So I'm originally from Vietnam. So my mom, my 3 brothers, and my grandma moved from Vietnam to America to kind of get away from the really bad life there. And always growing up, my mom would always of course, you have siblings?
Yeah.
Do they, your mom ever match y'all up together, clothing and everything, make y'all take pictures and stuff like that?
Me and my sibling, we never grew up at the house together.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So me and my brother, my closest brother right now, well, my older brother. So my mom would do us in the sequence of oh, he has a blue outfit, I'm gonna make him wear a yellow outfit. So she would always take pictures of us, or she would match us. So when I got older, I was just kind of understanding, I didn't really find documenting your memories as important until when you get older.
Right.
And then, back in high school and middle school, I actually started in middle school, you try to stand out, you try to take some nice pictures of yourself, it's I grew up in the MySpace era, all that stuff. So I was
that's when having your own pictures started to become popular. Yeah.
So I learned macro photography and all that stuff through it. So in high school, it was me and my friend of mine. One of my other friends, she asked us hey, would you mind taking my graduation photos? We were like, yeah, we were going to do it. Just for because we're friends.
Right.
End of the day, she handed us money. It all clicked in my head. I was like, bro.
How much you get paid for it?
I got paid like 125. 125 at 17 years old.
Can't really beat that.
Can't beat that. And like, this was back, I'm showing my age, but 2010, like, you think about it, like, we were working like Subway for like $7.25, so $100 to do what you liked and just, get paid for it. That was like just monumental. Like, I feel like I was like a rapper. Like, I just got my, my front end on that, so.
Yeah.
Kind of clicked in my head. I was like, man, my family also comes from like a very hand, work background. So like, they own nail shops.
Yeah.
So like in my culture, it's like we kind of equate money to only making through physical labor. So I was the first person in my family to be like, let me not do nails because I still didn't want to do nails. It was a trap. I feel like I would only be doing nails the rest of my life.
Right.
So I feel like, if I can do this, I know if I apply myself, I can make money, with this. Try to make money through here, not always through here. That was my main mindset on it. So
Okay.
I know it's not sexy, unfortunately. So
all right. So starting out, what were you shooting with?
I was shooting Canon. So my first like real camera was a Canon T4i and everything.
Okay.
But I always had like film cameras, like stuff that my mom had around the house and stuff like that. But I would say my first paid camera, I got paid off of a T4i.
Okay. So when did you realize, I know outside of that particular gig, when did you know that this is kind of like what you really want to do like full time though?
25.
Really?
I'm 28. It took me a long time because
just a couple of years ago.
Just a couple of years ago. Because I was always in it, but my mental wasn't always in it. Because I was scared. Scared
of what?
Scared. I was always scared of failure growing up because I didn't want to be like, because growing up, I was always like kind of like the jokester in my family. Nothing was taken seriously. You joke a lot now. Yeah, I joke a lot now. Yeah. So like nothing was taken seriously to me as my family. Oh, we got to do this. Yeah. No one in my family kind of took me seriously, but not in a bad way. It's just like I was trying to, like if I did something wrong, I joke. I was like, yeah, I didn't mean to do that. Even though I did. So like I try to make sure that everything I do present it the best way. So I was really honestly scared of just failing, and that was probably the worst thing I ever did in my life.
Really?
I'm such a big overthinker.
Me too. So I definitely get it.
But I think it was at 25 when I was like, you know what? I got paid to do a wedding, and I did the wedding. I was like, I can do this if I decide to really, really put my 100%, because I was only working at like at a 50% in my personal opinion, like my potential. And it took me such a while for me to tap into it because one of my favorite quotes is from my friend. He says, "You're so busy painting the picture, you never take a step back to look at the painting that you drew." So I was so focused on just like how do I improve myself, how do I improve my work ethic, how do I do this? But when people enjoy your product, I feel like that's the main thing that you should focus on. As long as your clients are happy, there's always going to be room for improvements. So that's kind of why it took me so long.
Okay. It's kind of crazy you say that because when I turned 25, I had the same realization that this is what I wanted to do. Like I felt like I was bullshitting, for lack of better words. Yeah. From 23 is like when I really started to pick up a camera, but 25 is like, all right, this is for sure what I want to do. And it still took me a couple of years to kind of really get my groove, but I feel everything you said. Like I feel like people didn't take me seriously. But so I had to really start to take myself seriously, and then it kind of elevated from there.
Right.
So okay. So so after 25, I know you said you started out doing photography, right?
Yeah.
So did you have a love of photography, or you just realized like, yo, I can make some money?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't have a love for it because it just, like I said, I went at it the wrong way because I feel like if you're passionate about anything in life, the money will come after that because you need to have a passion for something because over time you're gonna get burnt out. I can't tell you how many times I got burnt out of photography within like because I honestly realistically started at 21, so I was a professional. I've been doing it for 7 years. Through 21 through 25, I think I quit photography like 4 times because I didn't love it. Because like my business partner Josiah, he loves it. You met him.
Definitely does.
Yeah. He loves it. So this guy can take pictures
all day long.
Leaf.
Yeah.
I get tired. I'm like, I don't want to see this no more. I need something that's gonna help me make money. That's the thing about me. I'm just so business based, but I'm so like that's.
So would you categorize yourself as a creative?
Yes, I will, because I think the idea of a creative is the initial step to have an idea of doing something. I think when you have an idea and you act on it, that's what makes it creative in the sense of, because I can be like, you know, I don't want to do it today, or I don't want to, you know, make a cell phone video. But if, you know, if I see myself trying to make money off of it, and I'm like, oh, this is a new way to try to do it, why not try to do it? That's how I am now. 4 years ago, I'm like, yo, there's someone else got a video for it. I don't need to do it. But it's always your own spin on things. Everything in life is perception too.
Okay,
you know?
okay.
So.
It's crazy you say that, because even when I hear your story and I really think about like my story and my journey, I always tell people like I'm not a creative, or I'm more business than creative.
Yeah.
Like if I had to put a percentage, I feel like it's more like 60-40, like 60-40 business and maybe like 40% creative.
You know what's so crazy about that? That formula beats the other percentage every time. So if you're 60% creative or 60% business, 40% creative, I think personally that beats 60% creative, 40% business, because I feel like in a creative field, everything is subjective, right?
Yeah.
So how do you say like, oh, my photos are better than yours? But if your client base is so much higher than mine, who really is the better photographer? That's how I like to base creative mindsets, because
I feel the exact same way.
You know, it's so subjective. So like a lot of people like, oh, I'm a better photographer. That's great. Let's talk bank accounts.
I make more money though.
That's what I'm saying. Let's talk bank accounts. Let's talk about why my client keeps coming back to me.
Right.
That's why there's a reason why it's called starving artists.
Yeah. I can't do that.
And that's just like with me. And I just feel, I tell people all the time, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't want to work hard.
That is true. That is true.
I'm talking today.
You're talking a good shit right now. Yeah. All right, cool. So just to switch up the flow a little bit. This is a random question, but it all makes sense. Which music artist do you feel like you relate to the most?
Like on a spiritual level, like it's just in general. No one's ever asked me this. I actually don't know. Right off the top of the head.
I always say that I'm more so like Wale, right?
Wale. Oh, okay. That makes sense, actually.
Yeah, and because I have a very like, I feel like I'm creative, but I'm also can be very emotional.
Right.
I can get my feelings about some shit. And I always have a chip on my shoulder, like, all right, people not supporting me, people not rocking with what I do. I'm putting out the best shit ever, but people not rocking with it. So I felt that way the other day, matter of fact. So
I only say this in a creative sense. I feel like I'm a lot like Drake, because I'm so applicable to so many situations. This is how I'm very moldable. I'm like, I can be everywhere at the same time. I'm Clay, pretty much. Like, sorry to Clay Thompson. I heard about this.
ACL's out.
But like, you know how I feel like, because you called me a workhorse. That's just how I feel creatively. I feel like one day I can do like a wedding video. Next day I want to do a photo shoot of like a commercial product. Next day I want to do a sneaker review. Next day I want to do some travel videos. That's just how I feel. And I feel like with Drake, he's so good at creating conversation. He's so good at trying to take the extra step to make something a statement. Like everything he does, there's a reason why he's so memeable. There's a reason why he's so viral. It's because I think he takes the extra effort to make sure that he markets himself correctly. And I look up to him for that, because I think to myself every day, how can I make myself different from everyone else? How can I make myself just self better, like in every aspect? And I feel like over the years, when you look at his projects, you look at Thank Me Later, that's a totally beginning concept. Like, okay, this is who Drake is. Take Care, spun it right on his head. And you have Nothing Was the Same. It's just so much forks on the road that he's coming. But everything has a central theme for him. It's just his storytelling. He's such an eccentric way of storytelling to me. I grew up in the, Dougie Fresh, Lottie Dottie kind of,
No, like, you did not.
Okay, I'm 90s, baby. Relax. It was just a joke. But I grew up in like the 90s.
You're about to piss me off.
So I grew up in the 90s. So like everything I learned about storytelling through like hip hop and all that other stuff, like I feel like Drake is such a different way of doing it.
Right.
So, and I think that's what resonates, and it's very, microwavable. It's good, but it's potent. You know what I'm saying? Like my thing is make sure if you do something, make sure it's short, sweet, to the point. Because nowadays with people's attention span, it has to be like that.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. So next question, right? So I believe in a phrase, you got to spend money to make money.
Of course.
What has been the biggest purchase that you made or the best purchase that you made that has led to the most revenue?
Unfortunately, it's 2 products.
Okay.
So let's just can I do photo and video?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I can do 1 for photo, but I have to do 2 for video.
Okay, that's
Photo was my Photox Indra 360 TTL strobe.
Okay.
That set me apart from everyone else because no one was at my age group. I think I was like 22, 23 learning flash photography.
Mm-hmm.
No one in my area was even attempting to learn high speed sync, flash, outdoor, because everyone was trying to do natural light. That's great, cool. But I got.
But when it gets dark,
yeah, I got your number when it gets dark.
Yeah.
If say example like you and your wife, like, yo, I need some photos done at 12. That's a bad time to do it.
Yeah.
But if I have some way to augment light to make it look like a certain time of day, I put myself ahead of the game.
Right.
And for video, I think it was the wireless labs. I think it was the Ceramic Blinks 500 and just my Claire Light 120. Notice what I did. Lighting and sound. That's the 2 things that will always separate you from any type of competition because half of the battle of watching your content does it sound good and does it look good?
Yeah.
And that's just how I feel. Like those 2, I will say this, once you learn that, you'll separate yourself from the pack. My videos from Xchange, no one's videos that does video, like sneaker content around here, looks like mine. Put that in there. Put that in there.
Okay. So I like that you brought that up because I believe the same thing. If your sound is trash, your video's gonna be trash. If your lighting is trash, it's gonna be terrible.
So I'm having that Gucci energy. From
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Gucci,
yeah, don't do that. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So what do you feel like creators who start out, where do you feel like they mess up at? And more so, let's talk about video since we both do video.
Okay. Can we talk like about mentality? Or are we talking like business? I would like to do both personally.
Let's do both.
Business wise, I think it takes time, bro. But you know, just undervaluing yourself because like, yo, I'm gonna shoot your music video for $100. Or, you know, that's how a lot of people, start their videos like, yo, I have a friend that wants to do this.
I got a friend that got a camera.
Yeah, it's like, yo, like how much you charge? And I think the how much you charge thing scares everyone because you don't know what people's expectations are of you and what your skill level represents to that. So it has to correlate. So you throw out a number where they don't feel like they lost anything if they can't accept the criticism that your video isn't good enough.
Okay.
I think mentality wise is that you try to copy everyone's style and do like a ditto from Pokemon. Like you try to morph into things. Try to find other pieces of things that you like and just acknowledge it. See the things that you like and then just, honestly, I hate to say it, throw it away. Just to understand that it's there, then do your own thing. Okay. So that's my best thing, I think, learning. If I could go back, I would just tell myself that it takes time. It's an endurance game. There's so many.
You got to play the long game.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. I think, people want to do this, but they don't want to do this.
No. They want to do the part that looks good where they can be around rappers or singers and shoot these great things, but they don't want to do the things that actually led up to that, which is
the scheduling, the booking,
marketing, doing a whole bunch of work you don't really want to do. Trying to find ways of making money, doing like all the grunt work that comes with this line of work.
I still hate that, honestly.
I do too. I don't think nobody does. Like, I feel like I've gotten out of the phase where having to do a whole bunch of stuff I don't want to do. So now I can really just do all the things I want to do. But even with that comes its own headaches. Yeah. Comes its own like trials and tribulations, like dealing with people who you don't feel like dealing with. Like, it's just a lot that comes involved with that.
I just had a situation about that. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Same here. I just got a text right before you came. So yeah, I definitely get it. So you said something doing what you just said that kind of wanted me to like do something real quick. So what I'm actually about to do is give you a couple of, we talked about pricing. Right. So I'm going to give you like 3 different scenarios and you just give me like how much you would charge. Okay. All right. A 6-hour wedding video highlight.
Highlight. Okay, so all right, it's hard for me to give an answer until I know everything.
Okay. All right.
Give me a quick gist. Give me a quick gist.
Couple wants a highlight video for their 6-hour wedding.
Mm-hmm.
2 shooters.
2 shooters. Ooh.
And the highlight video is 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
We're talking first look. We talking groom prep.
Yep, prep.
So I have the whole day.
Yep, prep, ceremony, cocktail hour, reception.
2 shooters, and I trust this shooter, right? Of course, I have to. I have to pay him out of pocket. 2,200. 2,200. It has to be at least.
Okay.
For the quality, for my standards, and what I'm going to give them for that 4 to 5 minutes, because to me, every second in that video matters when it comes to the storytelling, and it matters on how much the client rapport is going to develop or crush right after this video being delivered.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna do one more. So a business, let's say a
Fortune 500?
No.
Okay.
A small business clothing boutique. Women's clothes.
Okay.
They want a Instagram video. It probably take you 3 hours to shoot. The length of the video, 60 seconds.
Okay.
How much you charge?
Oh, man. So they're a clothing brand that's women. Are they like, how's their following? Is it a small following, big following? Because these questions I asked do matter.
Let's say they got 2,000 followers.
2,000 followers. And a 60-second IG clip? Man, I hate to say this. I would have to price it maybe between just IG. That's it. Like, man, realistically, I want to do like 1,000. I think for that, I would have to do 6 because of the fact that it's just 60-second IG. But how do you? Because I know with you do a lot of like multiple highlight reels. Can I possibly flip that video many ways? That's how I have to think about stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. So once you said what you just said, it kind of made me just like ask that question just because I know one of the things that people always ask is how much should you charge for X, Y, and Z? So I thought it was something dope to do. So
and I think a lot of people, when they talk about, how much they charge and everything, people don't factor in the factors of like how long I've been doing it. What do you bring production level wise? What do you bring to the client mental space? So in the sense of like, if I'm working with a client, I'm attached to that client because for how I am, I want to make sure there's nothing wrong. Goes wrong that day. There's no miscommunication. So I have to be on your heels every day. Like, oh, we got to do this. We got to do this. So I feel like with that helps client rapport either be better or worse. Some people don't like to be bothered by that type of stuff. But certain people, most of the time, they like the involvement. Like, oh, he's personally trying to get my brand there. It's just an emotional investment. So yeah. Okay.
So I know at the beginning you said that you actually do all the video content for Xchange.
Yes.
So how did that come about?
You know what's funny? I know there's 3 owners. One of the owners' name is Jordan. He's the light-skinned gentleman with dreads. Me and him actually kind of somewhat grew up together because me and him have a lot of mutual friends.
Okay.
They had a store in Newport News, and I lived only 5 minutes down the street. So I would kind of pop in and out of that store and just say what's up. And I was kind of like on my way out of the sneaker culture because like I was just like, it's whatever. I've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
And then they moved to Norfolk, and I haven't seen them. I took like a year off of social media because I was just trying to get my mental right. So I found out that they were, in Norfolk. I think it was in June. So I was like, you know what? Let me just come in and just stop on by. Of course, you know what's going on in the world. They shut down for a month, and they just reopened. Like I came in on a Saturday. They just reopened on that Friday day before.
Okay.
I walked in just to say hi.
Yeah.
First thing they said to me. They didn't say, what's up, Long, All they said, yo, where were you at yesterday? We needed you. I was like, oh, damn. So I was like kind of taken back by that because I didn't even really tell them I did video like that. Yeah. Jordan always spoke highly of me. So he knew I did that.
Right.
I just went in there and I was just taken back by it. I was like, I just came in just to say hi to you guys. Just to make sure you guys are okay.
Right.
And then they said, we needed some video done. I was like, well, just let me know what I can offer you. It actually initially was supposed to be a 3-video set and I was supposed to be done. I was just supposed to create some marketing content for them for, just, their social media.
Yeah.
But they talked to me about wanting to become a part of the team and just, be their in-house videographer. I'm like, I've never done that before. So this whole YouTube thing, I'm actually learning as I'm going.
Okay.
And it's very scary because I'm putting so much expectations on myself that I'm not like personally reaching because I'm just putting my goals way too high. It's that quote I told you about. It's because I don't know, because you've been doing YouTube for a while.
Yeah.
So, and I just started, so I'm trying to build this brand where everything's lopsided. The IG's healthy. YouTube's here, but it's a growing thing, and I put a lot of pressure on myself because I'm like, I just want the brand to be represented the way it's on IG onto the YouTube.
Gotcha.
It's honestly one of the most rewarding, but yet hardest things I've ever done in my life, honestly.
Okay. All right. So you talked about just trying to build up their YouTube page. What are some things that you've actually learned by trying to do that?
Oh my God, dude. How much time we got? I learned you can't do everything yourself. I have a person that helps me edit. Shouts out to you, FMPS. That's my editor. You need just people to kind of bounce ideas off of.
Okay.
You need to create a workspace that complements your lifestyle. And what I mean by that is, if your workspace is cluttered, messy, it trickles down to your work ethic. So when I first began there, I was kind of sloppy. I didn't have a rhythm. Like I came from a restaurant background, so I can predict things. Like I have a flow.
Yeah.
I do not have a flow there.
Okay.
So it's like, now the best thing I'm learning is the best offense is a great defense. Okay. So if I can plan for everything, there's a little less things that can kind of go wrong. So I create a workspace in the back. I have, whiteboards, kind of have me scheduled down. Yeah. This is kind of like the most mental sharp I've ever been in my life. Okay. So I'm just trying to make sure that I don't lose momentum on that, So just make sure you have a great team behind you. Make sure you have a great support system. Like, me, you, Cap, Pat, and Josiah, we're in a group chat. Yeah. I love that group chat because we keep each other accountable. True. And we, of course, talk, photo business and all that other stuff. But having a great support system, because this lifestyle, not many people understand. Not at all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, I can't go to like my girl and be like, yo, man, I just did an 8-hour shoot. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? But if I tell you, Shad, like I had a really shitty day at work today. Guess who broke my light or something? You would understand. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Having that support system is very, very important. But just make sure you enjoy what you do. Okay. As stressed as I am, I love what I do because I believe in the company. Right. And that furthers my work ethic to be on point. Because if I don't believe in something, or just in general, if you don't believe in something, you tend to just be slack. You just kind of go for a paycheck. And that's what you shouldn't do. True. Understand the long game. So. Okay. All right. So when I asked that question, you gave me a great answer. I kind of want you to dive in, like things that you actually learned by helping this client, this team build up their YouTube page. Okay. So like tangible, like as far as like, I know you're very consistent up there. So what are things like that you've actually learned? Like tips? Yeah. Just on YouTube or or really just building a following for them. Like what are some things that you've actually learned tangible wise? So I know you got something. I'm learning this the hard way. Story beats production 8 out of 10 times. Yes. So I feel like you probably knew that though. I did, but I didn't know the extent of it because I really put hours and blood, sweat, and tears into a video thinking it's going to do well. It didn't do well. The video that I feel like was the worst shot up crazy. And that was a hard lesson for me to kind of like understand. Like I come from such a high production value kind of background, and to just deliver content that people want on the daily. How do I not compromise my quality, but give them the stories, but at a more consistent, faster pace? That's my main thing. Just figure out what your audience wants. You know, like if you're a sneaker review thing, probably don't talk about relationship advice. You know, it just doesn't make sense. You know, like make sure you have great titles, thumbnails, and just enough length of the subject where it's like not too long, but it's not too short. That's one. Just you have to really push the content after the life of it being posted. You can't just post a video and just say, "Oh, everyone's gonna watch it." You have to constantly like, "Yo, watch this video." Give them constant reminders. Give them also incentives. So right now, guys, on the way to 1,000 subs, we are doing a giveaway for $500. Please subscribe to the channel to find out. I'm good at this plugging stuff.
I see. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. To me, I feel like the biggest thing I've learned just by uploading is the consistency part of it.
Oh yeah, you can consistently upload, and I respect that.
Yeah, but it's not easy at all. Like, it's probably like the hardest thing that you have to do as far as being creative, or come up with the idea, execute the idea, and put it out, and then go straight into the next week of doing the same thing. I feel like you just learn so much about being consistent because you're going to learn what works and what doesn't work. Like you said, you know, you're going to learn storytelling. You're going to learn that sometimes production doesn't really matter. Like, there's just a lot of things that you're going to learn by being consistent that, to me, that's probably like the biggest thing that any creative needs to figure out is like, how can I be the most consistent and produce at a high level? Right. So,
I think also like, I do have a question for you, since you're a YouTube veteran for me. So when you decide like, yo, I want to do something different, how does that, like, say example, you want to do like a plant video. So if you have like 7 videos in the queue right now, when does that, like, I want to do a plant video right now, where does that fall into your queue of your mind of when I can shoot it, plan it, or how does it fall into the schedule? Or do you even do it?
So recently, like, my channel for years has been about helping creatives with like tips and tricks and all that type of stuff. But recently I started to do actually at the start of quarantine, I started a series like Quarantine Thoughts, where I would just, every morning for 60 days, I would just sit in front of the camera and start to talk about whatever's on my mind, you know, dealing with the quarantine or whatever. So what that could have been about, you know, shooting stuff or creative stuff, or sometimes it could have been just about like super random thoughts, like why white women don't wear high heels, or it could be like about relationship stuff or family stuff. So that made me realize that people come to my page to kind of learn about me. Right. So it doesn't really matter so much as regards to what I'm talking about, just that I'm talking about something. Right. So with that, me and my wife actually started not even a channel. It's like, it's on my regular YouTube channel, but we talk about...
It's a series.
Yeah. But we talk about like relationship stuff. The way I could just tie it in is because I feel like if all these channels about creative, the thing that helps me be creative and things that allow me to be consistent is having a perfectly balanced life at home. Right. So I can do that. So that's kind of like the way I tie it in, is that it doesn't really matter where it is on the queue of like videos. It doesn't feel out of place because I kind of like created my channel. So if it's about me and about what I think, then any video I do that's going to, you know, kind of resonate. Okay. So yeah. So one of the last questions I have for you is, as a creative, as a videographer, let's narrow it down to that. If you can narrow it down to 3 tangible things, what do you feel like is the blueprint of success? And when I say that, I mean like, if you give these 3 things to any videographer, they will be successful.
Education. Support. And because technically, would mentorship be education at the same time?
Yeah. Okay. That's actually education and support, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Education is support? I'm talking like
mentorship. Mentorship would be like education and support.
Okay. Third one. You can't really teach this, but it's work ethic. Show them the concept of work ethic. Okay. So when I broke that down, education is learning your technical. Like, I know like a lot of creatives, we don't like talking about stuff like that, but like I know a lot of people that take workshops, take people that like do online courses and stuff like that, but it helps you be better, be focused, more refined.
Right.
Having that support system, mentorship, it shows you how to, especially mentorship.
Yeah.
It helps you kind of get thrown in the wolves, gets thrown under the bus, and just show you what it's like in raw edition, and show them the work ethic, because you can't expect to do well if you don't want to work hard.
Gotcha.
That's just to show them. Like, my thing about showing people is, come on and shoot with me. I'm gonna show you. Like, if you don't feel like you got something out of it, you don't feel like a thrill, you don't feel like upset, if you don't feel, honestly, if you don't have a negative connotation on your experience with me, not in a bad way, I think you're doing something wrong, because you should fire something up in your body.
Gotcha.
Like, I want to, if not, I don't want to, I always tell people, don't be like me. I want you to be better than me. Because I feel like when you become better, I become better, because I'm always like kind of like steel sharpens steel. I kind of have a Dragon Ball Z mindset. I always am. I found my Vegeta. If I'm Goku, I found my Vegeta. Josiah is my Vegeta every time, because, or just in general, all of us. You know, like having someone that offsets your brain helps you tap in different parts of, you know, yourself mentally that helps you want to grow. So that's just the best thing I would say.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, before we wrap this conversation up, what is the one social media platform, if people want to know the most about you, where can they go at?
I would say right now, just go to my Facebook. I don't post much on social media right now in my personal life, because it's like, I don't know, I'm just kind of too busy to kind of post. I guess go on my Facebook. I'll usually go on back and forth conversation with my friends, but IG, I'm trying to make it more like, I keep it more business. I'm going to incorporate, like, go to my IG stories.
Stories?
My IG stories are completely different from how my Instagram feed is. I have a son, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy. But it's not my son. That's my nephew.
Yeah, I had to ask you that before. So. I thought you had kids.
No. I have 9 nieces and nephews.
All right, so I definitely appreciate you taking the time to kind of come out here.